So the Overwatch 2 beta has been out for about a week now, and I have been playing it nonstop since its release, and I'm here to give my impressions of what I think of the Overwatch 2 beta. First and foremost, I'm going to say it straight out of the gate. Overwatch 2 does feel like Overwatch 1.5, 1.1, 1.2, whatever the meme you think it is. Yes, it does feel that way. And that's not a bad thing, because what else is Overwatch 2 supposed to feel like? It's not supposed to feel like Call of Duty. It's not supposed to feel like Battlefield. People complain that Battlefield 2042 didn't feel like Battlefield. So Overwatch 2 beta does feel like Overwatch. More specifically, Overwatch back in 2016, where it was a lot more fun than it is currently on the live game. That said, let's go over the pros and cons of what I think for Overwatch 2's beta. Start with the pros. Number one, the UI. The UI is a very subjective thing, but I like the new UI. I think it's cleaner, it's easier to read as a player, it's easier to read as a spectator. To me, considering that the Overwatch League needs to be looked after and people need to be able to understand what is going on, I like the UI changes. I think it's a simplified look. It does lack the edge and style of the original Overwatch 1 UI, but it does do the job of making it easier to read, and I personally like it. Number two, the audio. The audio in this game is a lot better. The gun sounds. Ana's gun sounds is amazing. Widowmaker's is great. Soldier's is good. Ash is good. Obviously, how you feel about individual gun sounds is going to be subjective, but I personally like the audio tracks. I think the audio is much better now than it was before. Number three, this is probably the most important one, how it plays. The gameplay of Overwatch 2 is a significant improvement over Overwatch 1. You're not shooting shields as much as you're used to. There's not a lot of CC, so if you do like playing dive characters like Tracer and Genji, you can actually play them instead of being CC'd to death. If you are a tank, you don't have to worry about getting brig bashed, hacked, flashbang, and might as well just put your keyboard down and say, oh, I can't do nothing. This is not the case with Overwatch 2. The reduction of CCs, the way it plays, it's much faster, but it makes it a lot more fun to play. The fourth pro, the new game mode push. It is a much welcome change. 2CP was a good mode for the high level play, but a bad mode for regular ladder play and just casuals. Because that mode, the way the maps were set up, the way it worked, it just wasn't fun to play. And oftentimes people would leave, especially on maps like Horizon Lunar Colony. That map would show up and people would just leave. So, outright, replacing that game mode with push, and the way the push game mode works, it's a lot more fun, and it's a lot more brawly, so you're not stuck doing the same thing. And I do like the whole tug-of-war aspect of that mode. But let's go on to the cons for a second here. What are the cons? Number one, and I know the tank players are going to feel this one, tank synergy is lost. No, gone are the days where you pick Zarya, your tank partner runs Ryan, and you guys synergize with each other with your abilities and your movement, and that's gone. Whether it's Zarya Ryan or Rissa Hog, the list goes on. The tank synergy is lost. And for those tank players, I sympathize for you. The next negative that is part of this game, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, is the new scoreboard. So the new scoreboard provides you a lot of information, which is great, but at the same time, it increases a level of toxicity. And what I mean by that is because the scoreboard provides you with a lot of information, it is easy for players to look at the scoreboard and be like, well, our tank's not doing a good job, and then they get toxic towards their tank player. Or your supports aren't providing enough healing, so they get toxic towards their healers. Likewise, this game, because the solo carry potential is a lot higher, because it is 5v5, part of the problem is players need to be self-aware of themselves. If you know you're not playing well, you got to take it upon yourself to switch your character because it's not working. Unfortunately, like I said, it encourages toxicity because people can just get toxic towards you, especially if you are reluctant to switch your character, especially in a beta quick play mode. So that is another issue with Overwatch 2. The last one I'll talk about is how long it took for us to get here. This is the third con I have. It took us about 2+ years to get to this point. Now, I know people are going to complain that, all we got was 4 new maps, which are good maps, 1 new character, and a handful of rework characters. Yes, this is true, but as Blizzard had recently made a post, I believe it was yesterday, they made a post that talks about what they learned from the first week of the beta and explicitly lists that in future betas, there will be adding more content to the game. They are also looking at the supports, which are deemed to be weak in this game. And again, in their blog post, it's on screen, they specifically go over what's coming in future betas. People need to remember, this is a beta, one of many before the official launch. The last con I want to talk about is the Overwatch 2 marketing. Players need to understand that Overwatch 2 PvP is a free update to Overwatch 1 players. What you would be paying for when it officially launches would be the PvE. So for active Overwatch players or players who have the game, this is essentially a free update, a free DLC, a free expansion, whatever you want to call it. It is a free update. What you're paying for is the PvE content. Again, this is on Blizzard for the horrible marketing. I don't know why they did it this way, but it is what it is. In closing, and my final verdict of this beta is that Overwatch 2, this beta, if you are an active player of Overwatch 1, there is a very good chance you will like Overwatch 2 with the most resistance coming from tank players because of the loss of tank synergy. If you played Overwatch 1 in the past and fall out of it, this beta may or may not bring you back, depending on how you feel when you play it. If you don't like Overwatch at all, this beta won't change your mind. As I stated at the beginning of this video, this is essentially Overwatch 1.2, 1.5. Whatever the meme you heard, they are pretty accurate. And again, it's not a bad thing because Overwatch players want this to play like Overwatch. We don't want this to play like Call of Duty or any other shooter. That would defeat the purpose. But what it means is that if you don't like Overwatch, you're probably not going to like this game. And it's probably not for you. But what people need to understand that this is beta 1 of many betas. And that the PvP is free. Overall, I'm loving my time with Overwatch 2. For me, personally, it feels like 2016 again. I was heavy into this game from 2016 to 2019, and then I fell off due to the lack of content and support that the live game received. But with this Overwatch 2 beta, I have been playing it non-stop every chance I get. It feels like 2016 again, and to any player who played Overwatch back in 2016, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's what this feels like. And that's a good thing. The only thing is, it won't change your mind if you don't like Overwatch to begin with. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.